Yo, it's another beautiful day in Canada where I gotta wear my winter jacket. We still don't have a name for the Heck Kitty. Let me know what you think, because the last one was Canadian Lambo, so what can this be? We're gonna head to the garage right now because I have not neglected my other cars yet. I'm gonna go start building my blue Mustang because, as you can see, it's dry outside and it should have been done probably weeks ago. Red key in use! SRT button! 700 horsepower. Now I know I've been about as useless as a T-Rex trying to masturbate when it comes to like getting things done on time and making things run. So today I'm gonna put in a decent effort at least to try and get that T-Rex laid, so if you know what I mean. Okay, it's definitely been a little bit since we worked on the Mustang here. I've been waiting on some 4-inch pipe from Nick at Black Sheep Industries. He just started stocking pipe, so we're gonna go with some 4-inch down pipe on this thing. The outlet on this turbo is 4 inches, so we're gonna go 4 inches, probably back out through this fender here. He also sent me a neat little shirt. These are kind of cool. I like it. I was gonna wear it in the garage, but it's almost too nice to wear in the garage. And yes, Nick, a medium does fit me. And speaking of Black Sheep, if you guys haven't already, the new 45mm wastegates are about a week from shipping out. We got a ton of pre-orders. There's only like a couple pre-orders left. They're like super affordable for like a high quality wastegate. I'm getting 2 of them for this thing. So in order to mount our exhaust system up, we're gonna have to mount our Mishimoto radiator first, and this will give us a general idea of like where we can mount our piping so we don't hit the rad fans or the balancer. So this is gonna be the first thing to go in there. Huge shout out to Mishimoto for sending us this. This thing's gonna be badass. So I've got the radiator in there. I actually managed to move it this way more because it tucks under this radiator support a little bit more. I do have to build some top ones to hold it back this way. And then the bottom ones are actually just, there's holes drilled in the bottom of this rad support, and there's grommets put in it, so they're just sitting on top of grommets. I am gonna have to do something with this elbow right here, probably put like a 90-degree elbow on it, because it is a little tight to the turbo there, and then come across, and then this one goes to there. But now we have an idea of like our fan shouldn't take up more than like probably 3 inches or something. So I'll try and keep this as tight to the harmonic balancer as I can, so it'll come off at a bit of an angle here and then come down. Now before I go ahead and I build an exhaust, I'm actually gonna have to weld a V-band to this flange because this flange is specific for VS Racing and you need their V-band assembly. It's like $80 US. I'm not really impressed with it, considering that's like $120 Canadian once you do the conversions and stuff, and I get it here. So instead, because I can weld, I'm gonna weld a Black Sheep Industries 4-inch V-band on this, and that's just gonna save us a whole bunch of money because I believe this was like $45 Canadian. So it's like a third of the price, and all I have to do is weld it on now. I might weld it from the inside. And because this is like a cast steel piece, I'm gonna heat it up on this hot plate for a bit, and then I'm gonna get my tin foil out and get ready to back purge it. So while it's heating up, I'll get the back purge set up. It's all welded up. I welded it inside. I'm putting it on the heat plate to give it the best chance of like not cracking and like cooling it down as slow as possible. We didn't back purge it because I ran out of one of my argon bottles. But I did weld it inside and outside to give it the best chance at like not cracking off. This won't be holding that much weight, just my 4-inch exhaust going at the bumper. I guess I could put a brace on it somewhere else. Welding hair. So as you can see, I welded the outside here and the inside. The inside wasn't as good because it was hard to weld at, but it should hold now. Yeah, so Dan's smarter than me. I was trying to like figure it, we're never gonna be able to get this pipe in here, but I guess if you route it down underneath, then we'll be able to cut this top side because we're just gonna use this whole U-bend. But Jesus, is that ever like a big piece of pipe? Well, shout out to Nick for hooking us up with some brand new pipe. Essentially, it's gonna do the 180 right here and just pull it back underneath, and then it's gonna come back out the same side that it was before. And it's mainly doing that because I don't want exhaust fumes coming out my side of the window because there's no AC, and if I drive my window down, I don't want to be breathing all the exhaust in.
that proving to be the most useful piece of pipe ever?
Yeah, if it wasn't oval, because I think if we try and put that piece of pipe on this one, like the side that we squished. That's probably not the side we squished.
Yeah, that's the cut side that we squished.
And you know what? That deformed back pretty straight.
Like you said, it was the spring.
That might be the exhaust right there. It's so big. We might have made the world's simplest downpipe. Can you imagine how long this would have taken if we would have did ply cuts like we normally do?
Ooh. It's kind of a side pipe. Is it really a down pipe?
It goes down-ish.
Yes, it goes down.
It goes...
Yeah. It's down.
I'll put it on and see how it looks now. And this is what it's like on the car. It just comes in here and then it comes out over here. This hole was messed up because I had a wastegate and exhaust in it before, like a 3-inch and a 2.5 inch. And now we just have this 4-inch, so we're gonna have to make like a nice little bezel cover that comes up like here somewhere.
Until it has another 2.5 inch wastegates.
No, those are just gonna go to the ground, I think. Because I think I'm gonna put 2 wastegates, tuck them underneath the turbo here, and point them to the ground. All right. Now we've got this monster intercooler here from Mishimoto. They kindly sponsored it to the channel. And as you can see, there's no end tanks on it, which gives me an opportunity to learn how to build some end tanks. I did it once on the Malibu, and now we're gonna do it again. Maybe we'll be able to do it like a bit better. I did buy a cool thing that I didn't even know existed. You can actually buy like a metal cutting blade for a circular saw. So we're gonna try that to cut aluminum, and hopefully it leaves like less garbage on the weld, so it's easier to weld. And we have to figure out how we're going to mount this across our front bar here. So I bought another piece of bar. And I think we're gonna try and make a couple bends in this so it goes up and like runs straight across this thing and then back down, and then we'll weld it to each side. Now, if you recall correctly, we did get this tubing bender. And I'm not really good at bender math. Like, if I want it to be this long and the bend right here, where do I have to bend it and the radius and how long it's gonna be? So it's gonna be some denial and error going on right here, boys. I found my pry bar was missing too. Like I said, no idea what I'm doing, so I'm actually just gonna mark where it fits square in the die here, if I can. Just so we have a reference point. And I need about a 40-degree angle on this, so I just clamped a piece of wire to there and then I put it on 0. And we have to go roughly 40 degrees according to my super inaccurate angle finder thing here that I should probably upgrade because this one is bullshit. We ruin a piece of pipe learning, then we ruin a piece of pipe learning. It's all about laying pipe, man. Ask your girlfriend. And because the stuff is so thin wall, I can do it by hand. That says 40. Let's see what happens, I guess. Yes, I had to move everything in order to get my bender working. Okay, well that's like almost where I wanted it. That'll work fine as long as I cut it right here. Let me just cut one end off real quick. I gotta do math now, but it hurts my brain, so I'm not gonna film it. So after much brain smoke, that's what we ended up with. It's not perfect on the ends. I don't have a tubing notcher, so I kind of just did it by eyeball for the first time ever. It just kind of fits up and over, and then we'll just weld 2 tabs to this, and then they'll just bolt through this arm right here. So we'll get this prepped, we'll get it welded up. There is a little bit of a gap on the bottom side over here. I'm not too worried about it. But I mean, it's always cool to learn a new skill, especially when fabricating is something you really enjoy. And you gotta walk before you can run, I guess. That's one of the first tubes I've ever bent. Pretty good, pretty good. Wow, it's nice enough that I can open the door right now. Hello, Hell Kitty. I got it all welded up. I had to dent in one side on the bottom there. So this side I had to dent in a little bit because there was a gap. So it came out a little bit dirty on this side, but like the rest of it looks all good. Really hard to focus with this camera. Anyways, it'll hold. Also, I mounted my vise. So I'm actually just testing out some end tank ideas to see what's gonna work. Because this mount sticks out, I actually have to go below it. So I have two different cutouts here. One's just a little bit wider than the other one, and then I played with different dimensions. This one seems like it's gonna fit. This is probably the one I'm gonna use. Just because it's a bit wider and thicker, it'll give more room for the air to flow through, and then this is where our pipe's gonna be welded in to go up to the top. And then it should work on both sides. Yeah. Yeah, I like this one, so I'm gonna probably draw this out on a piece of aluminum and see if I can cut it out now. Also, huge shout out to Nick, man. Nick at Black Sheep Industries. He believes in me so much, and he's always giving me materials to work with here. This is some 1/8" aluminum. Just a big sheet of it. And like, this is more than I could ever need, and yeah, I'm just grateful to have awesome friends like him, and especially Kurt from Melron as well, because those guys are always supplying me welding materials, and the less I got to pay out of my pocket to learn how to do this stuff, the better it is. So thank you so much, guys. But I'm gonna mark this out here with my dimensions. Dude, that cuts like cake. So here's my first shot at the end tank. It is 4.5 inches wide. I didn't leave enough lip here because I measured this as 4.5. So I left a little bit of a lip so I can kind of weld in the groove. But this is just how it's gonna fit in here. Kind of something like that. And I think we should be golden with that. It's a good end tank, is it not? So this is kind of what we're looking at here. It is gonna, of course, fit up on the top there, but you can see how I made it go up, so the pipe is actually gonna be like not hanging so low, but it's low enough where it doesn't hit this little mount right here. And then I'll probably weld whatever size pipe we're gonna use here. I haven't decided 3 or 4 yet. We're gonna weld that a piece there so we can clamp onto, and then it just goes up and around. And we gotta build one for the other side, obviously, but it's starting to look pretty good. Unfortunately, because I only run 110 in here, I can't weld that end tank on because you need pretty much every amp that my welder puts out to weld that end tank on. But it's beautiful outside. The first day that we can go out where you can probably wear a t-shirt. So I'm gonna go take the Hellcat for a drive and just enjoy the rest of the day, I think. I'm really happy with the progress we have on this car. The exhaust looks really good in here. We do need to put a bung in it, and then if you're worried about this charge pipe, it's just gonna come a 45 off here and then down into whatever right there. So with this car, we have to get the rear end built, the 8.8, put the spool in the back. We gotta do brake lines, and then it's just to finish up this little bit of a turbo kit, and then it's back running. Because when I did park it last year, it was a running car. I just wanted to change up a couple things to where the point, like, I have to up my game up a little bit now because we have a Hellcat, so we got 700 horsepower stock on the street, so this has to be faster than that car or I'll be disappointed. But I think it's gonna be. This thing weighs like 3,300 pounds, something like that. I think 3,200 pounds, something like that. And then that thing's like 4,500. So if we can make 700 wheel with this thing, it should be much faster. But thanks for sticking around, guys. If you do like the content, make sure to subscribe. Peace easy and get that V.